Namaste, bitches! So it's been about a month since TF Nation 2018 blasted through my life like a juggernaut of joy and hugs. A joygonaut? A hugonaut. And I, for one, am still deeply embroiled in the marvellous hot pink G2-themed afterglow. So today we're chilling with my top G2 find of the weekend. This is Fearswoop. Party over here, Swoop. So Fearswoop, aka Black Omen, awesome, was one of the track cons, a hugely obscure Decepticon substrata consisting only of himself and the equally quietly forgotten Calcar. And like most of the G2 fam, they were massively mediocre little bots defined by a clumsy, overbearing gimmick, which they also shared with the Autobot Lightformers, namely the true punk underground badass Deathwing and the shameless corporate sellout Iron Fist. And what's curious about this cultish cabal is that they actually bridge G1 and G2. I mean, I'm sure I've talked about the whole G1.5 thing more than I have actual G1, but this is some whole other shit. Like, Fearswoop and his mob actually had two separate identical releases on either side of the G2 divide, and unlike the returning 84 and 85 dudes, Fearswoop didn't even have to get extreme. F-Swizzle was born extreme. Recognize. But sadly, that's just about the most interesting thing about him. Like, character-wise, he's a smidge thin. I mean, his bio basically begins and ends with his name. Can fly, is bad, that's it. And as a bot, he's little more than a super simple Seeker-alike, suspiciously similar to the previous year's Predators, specifically Falcon. Like, he is Falcon. Look at this shit, he's just Falcon. Falcon awesome. Ha! At the very least though, Fearswoop's packed his own wardrobe with some fiercely fresh prince-ass colours, serving Carl Kanai realness with the tropical turquoise, sickening scarlet and vitalite yellow, and shape-wise he's practically made of sass. Like the bod's basically a big yellow down arrow with a giant gleamy crotch gem. He's got the head of a pint-sized skyquake, complete with black licorice forehead, weird radiator funnel mouth and some apocalyptic snot green light piping. Arms are basically two lumpy plastic poles with holes and the least possible amount of ratcheting. Two whole detents. Legs are just a big single grey block with tiny yellow pop socks and an inexplicable anti-fun ankle conjoiner post. So he'll never dance the can-can, but he's respectful as shit. And the rest of the jet just folds down his back like a novelty Air Force-themed pajama cape. And that's kind of it for actual him. Like, he's a charming enough man of his time, but there's nothing really going on. Because it's G2, baby, so it's of course up to the gimmicks to sell the whole charade. So as a track con, Fearswoop's packing this giant dumbass light box balanced on a monopod. I don't even know what to call this thing. I mean, it doesn't seem related to Fearswoop, like even thematically, but I guess it puts on a pretty sweet Star Wars arcade-ass light show, along with some bracing pom-pom action. Pom-pom-pom-pom. Pom-pom-pom-pom. Look, you know me, I love a good light piping based gimmick. I friggin' lost it for the Mega Visor, and I do sort of enjoy this thing, but this has to be the worst way to execute it in the context of a Transformer toy. Like, it's not even kind of integrated. It's pretty much an entirely separate item that just happens to be packaged with a robot. And because Fearswoop himself is so bloody basic, it's pretty much this thing carrying the whole show. So Fearswoop's robot mode gets a low-level thumbs up just for being passively polite. But this thing, I mean, it is kind of fun in a way, but why? Transformation's an extremely standard flip and slip with echoes of guess who? Falcon, shocker, and the jet mode is, I believe, the first ever F-22 Raptor in Transformers. Suck it, Screamer. So it's a pretty slick and somewhat cutesy little air beast with gorgeous swooshing wing lines and a lush crystally cockpit with an extraordinary overbite. Deco's got a distinctly phoned-in feeling with a hasty smattering of oddly low-effort sculpting and some admittedly sort of swish stickers featuring unreadable garbled nonsense and this not terribly Transformery medieval emblemage, but no Decepticon badge. Undercarriage is a bit of an unsightly mess, and the shoulders even break through to the top side, but at least he's got landing gear. That's something. Back end looks a touch bizarre with this giant thigh gap absence area. And yes, inevitably, it's also that this giant weapon construct thing can clamp on there for some bloody reason. Now, it's not like this kind of thing's unprecedented, especially in G2. I mean, what about Clench? He's got a massive impractical weapon that makes up half his mass, and everyone loves him. But here's the difference. Clench is a truck. He's supposed to be big and lumpy and cart around a giant, potentially weaponizable payload. But Fearswoop just looks like some dumbass toy aeroplane with a bungalow jammed up its bumhole. Also, isn't he supposed to be like a master of stealth? What is stealthy about this? Are the Autobots just not gonna believe their eyes when they see a margarine jet fighter towing a miniature cinema and the cinema's armed? But I guess with the leg down, his mates could use him as like a promotional Decepticon standee. I don't know, man. This whole thing just gives him the air of some some shifty amusement arcade, like some kind of hyperactive neon coin-operated peep show. But I guess that's the essence of G2. Like, it was barely even about the robots. There always had to be a light show, or a voice box, or a water gun, or a spinning top. Why does everything have to be something? But look, man, at this point, Hasbro weren't thinking about brand legacy. They were just trying to maintain a fading toy property in a decade defined by overstimulation. Kids didn't want cool-ass Diaclown robots anymore. They wanted louder, brighter, more colors, more action, less effort. They didn't want Super Ted and the Beano. They wanted Sonic and Pogs. And that, my friends, is how we get to Fearswoop. Like, he's somehow both too simple and a bit much. But like, I can't not love him. I mean, he's not gonna change your world, but he's a lively lemony slice of everything that was brilliantly bollocks about 1993. And who am I to ask any more of him than that? What is it the rap singers say? Don't hate the player. Hate the deregulation of American domestic markets and the exploitation of children through targeted advertising disguised as entertainment. Nah, I mean...
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.